there, Raticats. This is the Ring Queen Lexa Rose with another episode of Wrestling with Beauty, and today is a truly outrageous episode. This is not only dedicated to my favorite era that I was born in the 80s, but this is also dedicated to independent wrestler Steven Persons. This look is called Totally Radical, and he's definitely a real rad dude. Totally cool, totally radical, totally awesome, yeah. So I wanted to do a look dedicated to him, and of course it's very colorful, and it also matches the checker marks on his gear, which is actually something he made himself. He's a very clever jack of all trades that does so much, but most importantly, he's a really great guy. You know, whether you love him or whether you hate him, he's definitely someone that you could definitely count on when you need him most. And he's, again, an awesome guy. So, his information is going to be down below for you to check out. Follow on social media and stuff. And if you want to see how I got this totally outrageous look done, then let's get this tutorial rolling. Okay, so I did my eyebrows off camera, as you can tell, and the only reason why I wanted you guys to see how I do my face is because if you can't tell, my face is tan. I went to the beach not too long ago, so I got a little sunburn. So, eyebrows are done. What I'm going to do is I'm going to grab my Clinique Super Primer to just prime my face. And of course, I've been telling you guys that I've been trusting Clinique since my mom's been using the product, and it works for the family. So we're just gonna put this primer on, and I'll be back with the next step. Okay, so what we're gonna do is, instead of using an actual foundation, I'm gonna go into my Anastasia of Beverly Hills cream contour kit, and I'm gonna just kind of use this color mostly, and probably mix it with a little bit of this color because it's the closest kind of dark color that won't wash out my face. But yeah, let me grab a brush and I will show you guys how to apply this. Okay, so what we're going to do next is we're going to grab our Anastasia Beverly Hills Cream Contour Kit, and we are going to be using this color and this color, only because the foundations I have are for my pale skin, and I'm tan. I got sunburned over the weekend, so, well, by the time you see this, I don't know what weekend it's going to be, so I recently got sunburned, so unfortunately I can't really use my regular foundations, so I'm just trying to improvise. Okay, so now that we've laid down our foundation tour, which I call a combination of foundation and contour, just grab your that beauty blender, and what I usually like to do is I like to go with the light part first, then blend out the dark, because if you go with the dark, then you kind of, you know, it's cross-mogenation that you don't want, you know, like some contamination. You don't want that contamination until you get like towards the nose, and then kind of everything has to blend together. So just go right in here and just start blending the lighter parts. So you can tell it's already starting to look disastrous because I'm tan, so it's really not blending well. But then again, this could be just the camera, so just blend. Okay, well, hitting a bit of a disaster because my face is peeling from being sunburned, and well, you can't see it here, but if I take a picture, you'll notice and you'll be like, good God. But I've been trying to exfoliate. It's not working, so anyways. My Tarte Cream Powder Foundation. I'm just going to swirl that everywhere to kind of set all the cream on my face. I'm not going to use regular setting powder because that's just going to make my face look a little too white, and I'm trying not to look too white. I'm trying to look Spanish. Spanish! Do you trust that I'm not going to let you die tonight? If you don't know where that's from, please unsubscribe. Because I make a lot of movie quote references from like my favorite movies. And they're funny. Okay. So now that we're done setting the cream, I am not liking the way it's here and here, and you can't tell, thank God. I'm actually happy I got a shitty camera this time because you can't see all the peeling. Pero, oh my God. Anyways, what we're going to do is we're going to get straight into the eyeshadow because this is a totally radical look. Radical, radical, radical. And you can tell I'm like wearing like 80s pink colorful stuff in honor of Peachy. A peachy persons. So what we're going to do is we are going to go and find our eyeshadow palette, and we will be right back. Okay, so now we're going to prep our eyelids, and I'm going to use my Born This Way Naturally Radiant Concealer in light, and just put a little bit here, literally on the eyelids, because there's a whole bunch from when I cleaned up my brows. So see, right up there, real nice. See? Now we're going to grab our fluffy brush and our Jeffree Star Beauty Killer palette, and we're going to go right into Courtney, and we're just going to kind of build up a transition, because what's going to happen is it's going to actually be black. Okay, so now that we've got the transition, we're going to go into our color Black Rainbow, which is a really, 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 really intense black. So I'm just going to kind of go in there a little bit and just start building up. I just realized my Black Rainbow is a little wet because I just tried to fix it because it broke. So we're just going to go into our Urban Decay Full Spectrum, and we're just going to go into Platonic, which is pretty much the same color, and we're just going to use that to build it up. Okay, so now that we've got the contour, now we're going to start with the fun part, which is the lid. So we're going to grab our Born This Way concealer, just kind of load up a brush, and then what we're going to do is we're going to cut the crease, so that we can be able to put the colorful designs. It'll pick up the color better and stuff. So let's get started. Okay, now here comes the colorful part. We're going to go right into our Beauty Killer palette, and we're going to go right into Star Power. And we're going to start applying the streaks of color. Of course, you know, Steven Persons is a very radical, but fuck it, he is a radical person. Great guy, in and out of the ring, whether you love him or hate him. But I want to show you guys just a bit of how colorful he really is. So, let's just kind of give you an idea. Look at that colorful guy. Just so you know, he made that himself. So he's a guy of many gifts and talents. So you see the hair? You see the hair? I'm telling you, you know, it could be twins. But yeah. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go for these colors right here. I don't know if you can see them. We're gonna go for that pattern right there. So we're starting off with the pink, and then we'll go with the orange, the greens, the blues, the indigos, and then the purples. So we're gonna just go in with this one, and we're just gonna pop that right from the corner up. And it's gonna take a while because, you know, the concealer is still a little mixed, but it's buildable, so I don't have to put too much. So see, right there. So I'm gonna finish up the pinks, then I'll come back with the orange, and then all the other colors. Okay, so next we're gonna go with Jones from our Urban Decay Full Spectrum, and we're just gonna pop that right underneath the pink, which goes with Steven Person's gear. So we're just gonna kind of blend them together, just kind of throw it right next to it. And I left the pink on there so that it helps blend the two colors kind of a little seamlessly, so it doesn't look like a harsh line, even though we're going to be putting a checkered pattern on top, so it doesn't even really matter. But I just wanted to make sure that we got the colors nice and blended together so that it looks kind of like a uniform rainbow. That just sounded weird, but you know what I mean. Okay, next we're going to grab a kind of clean brush, only because that's already been contaminated with pink. We're going to go right into Calavera, which is, of course, part of the Urban Decay Full Spectrum. A lot of the colors are going to be coming from here. I just wanted to use the Jeffree Star one because it had the intense pink that I wanted. And as you can tell, it came out pretty good. So we're going to go with Calavera, and we're just going to throw that right in with the Jones color and blend them all out. Okay, so now we're going to go with blue. We're going to go with Blindsided, which is a very bright teal blue. We're just going to throw that on there. Now, if you look at his gear, there really isn't a yellow, but I just wanted to add yellow because I just wanted to kind of give it the contrast and like the, I guess, diffusion of pink, orange, yellow, green kind of thing. I just thought it would be better than going from straight pink and orange straight into green, so I wanted to kind of give it like something to kind of separate the two colors instead of just kind of going with two intense opposite colors. So again, we got Blindsided loaded on a brush, and we're just going to put that right here on the end and kind of drag it a bit out. Okay, so now we're going to add the green, and we're going to just use the same brush that we used the yellow and the blue on, and we're just going to go into this color Hatter, which is also featured in the Urban Decay Alice Through the Looking Glass eyeshadow palette, and it's a really nice bright green color. So we're just going to kind of grab a little bit up here and load it on our brush, and what we're going to do is we're going to put it under and smoke it out. So we're just going to kind of start from where we did the blue, and we're just going to kind of connect the two and just kind of pat it on there. And you got to be careful because you don't want any green fallout. So it should look something like this. Because you know how 80s were severely smoked out eyeliner and stuff. So I don't know if you can see it, but all the green is under there. Okay, here comes the intricate part. Drawing in the checkers. So you're definitely going to need some serious liquid liner and a really, 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 really steady hand. If you have to be very meticulous, grab yourself a toothpick and just kind of like put dots where you're going to put the squares, and you could just simply grab any black liner, and what you do is you turn that over, and then what you do is you just kind of put a dot right where you want the squares to go, and then you just fill it in. But since this is going to be something that I need really to be up close, I can't have this all in front of me. I'm going to try. I really am going to try. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this, and I'm going to grab a mirror with very high magnification on one side, and I'm going to be a little far away, but I'm going to try and do it so that you guys can see. My eyelashes are going to be in the way, and not so much. And of course you're going to make a couple of mistakes, so what you can do is just grab a Q-tip really quickly, have it like as close on deck as possible so that you can catch whatever errors you made before the liner dries, and then you can just go back again. So I'm going to continue doing the rest of the squares off camera, and I will be right back. Okay, so this side came out better than this side. I don't know why. I think I was just being lazy and trying a different technique of just doing the lines across and then trying to fill in the boxes. When on this side, I kind of filled each box individually, like I did each row, like one line, then the boxes, then a line, then the boxes. This one I just did lines and then filled in as I went along, and well, yeah. But I did add a streak of white liner, which I think came out really nice and pretty radical. So what we're going to do is I'm going to use two different glitter liners. I'm going to use the Urban Decay Heavy Metal and Distortion, and I'm just going to kind of throw it on the black real quick right here. Nothing too crazy. I just want the lashes to kind of bounce out. And then what we're going to do is we're going to grab Distortion. We're going to throw it right on top of the green underneath. So we're just going to go right here. Look up. And bam. Alright. So I'm going to do the other eye off camera, and then I would be... Okay, so the 80s wouldn't be the 80s without some heavy, like, under... well... waterline liner. So grab any black liner and just literally go right in the waterline. Have fun with it, you know, let it smudge into the green and the pink a little bit. Like, the whole point is to have an intense, smoky, you know, exaggerated look. That's how the 80s pretty much were. So you want to make sure that this is like really severely in there. So don't be afraid to go a little crazy with the liner. It's okay if it meshes with the green. It's okay if it meshes with the pink. It's okay if it meshes with the glitter. That's fine. So I'm just kind of, I know I usually use my see? All good and hood. And now what we're going to do is we're going to finish the rest of our contour and highlight. So I'm going to go in with my POTC, and we're going to go into Lost Soul, because we want this to be very intense, like contour. The 80s was really heavy on contouring, like really heavy on contouring. So we're just going to throw in this for now, and then what we're going to do is I will show you a neat trick for the next step. Okay, so when I said that the 80s were heavily contoured, I meant it. So we're going to go right into our Beauty Killer palette, and we're going to hit up Vanity just a little bit, not too much. See that? This is 80s style. Like, please do not kill me. This is how it looked in the 80s. Like, women were heavily contoured. Like, it was crazy. So you just want to go in there with that. Just kind of, you know, go right in there. A little bit up here. They weren't really too fond of up here, but I'm going to show you exactly what they were fond of. So we're going to go right into Star Power. We're going to load that fucker up. And we're going to go whoop, right on top. Because this was the contour. It was a lot of blush. So, you know, in the 80s, it was really angular and very stylized. So we're trying to like capture, you know, the essence of the 80s, as well as, you know, the colors that Steven Person is known to be wearing. But that is our blush right there, just so y'all know. That's how they did the blush. It wasn't like we do it now. I mean, makeup styles have definitely drastically changed over the years. Like, it's evolved. But this is something that kind of stood the test of time. So, you know, we still contour. We just don't contour like this. Like, the blush is a little bit more subdued and subtle. It's not this kind of, you know. While you're at it, just kind of go a little bit in there. Yes, they used to stick freaking blush right up on the hairline. If you look at guys like Motley Crue, Twisted Sister, Poison, a lot of 80 hair metal bands used to use blush as a contour. So we're just going to kind of throw that in there. Even Madonna, Duran Duran, which is like actually one of my favorite 80s bands of all time. This was pretty much how like each band member looked, like literally all heavy makeup and stuff. So, but I'm gonna grab my brush that I use to kind of like, I'm just gonna blend and soften the edges a little bit. But this is basically how 80s babies used to rock, and I'm not even done yet. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab this little glitter thing right here from Wet n Wild. I don't know if you can see the glitters or the sparkles there. Yeah, now you can kind of see it. It's called Color Icon in the color Bleached. Now my fingers are kind of a bit dirty, so I'm a little scared about how this is gonna roll out, because I was cleaning my Jeffree Star Beauty Killer palette because my Black Rainbow broke, and yeah, I got it all over my fingers trying to clean it. So just gonna go in with our fingers, grab a whole bunch, and right where we would put our highlight, and trust me, we're gonna throw some highlight on top of this too, but I wanted to add some more glitter to it. So see, that's exactly why I was worried, but that's all right. It's blending out. It's blending out. It's blending out. It's blending out. Blending out. But yeah, I wanted to make sure we got the glitter, because glitter was very heavily used in the 80s. I hate to admit it, it was probably one of my favorite eras because it was that colorful and you could wear stuff like this. I mean, it was a lot. It definitely stayed true glitter wise. It just kind of turned into highlight and more of a shimmer. But in the 90s, like the 80s and 90s was like the era of glitter. And it's kind of funny because I'm sounding like an 80s baby, but it's really true. The 80s, I was born in 1981. A lot of people are like, you don't remember the 80s? Bitch, I was born before, at the same time as MTV, okay? I was born before WrestleMania, boo-boo. Trust me. I have a big brain. I remember a lot of shit. I remember when Nick at Night used to come on, but it didn't come on because we had basic cable. So every time Mr. Wizard's Universe used to come on, we couldn't even watch Mr. Ed. It would be like the beginning credits and then it would just go off. It was like, why are we paying for Nickelodeon and not having Nick at Night? Like, for real? I love me some I Love Lucy, so that's why I was always tight. But then finally, they finally gave us our Nick at Night, and I was happier than a pig in shit. So there's that. But I remember when cable boxes were just the like little knob that you used to turn and stuff, and it used to click and had the UHF and UVF or whatever. I remember the big Zenith TVs made of wood. I remember that every freaking abuela, including my mother, had plastic on the furniture. And then they had that one big round couch. It didn't matter what kind of upholstery was on it, but there was that one big round couch that was like a circle. And I remember, what else was very prominent in the 80s? I remember you could get like the Tootsie Rolls for a penny, but that was probably, yeah, that was still 80s. You could play in the fire hydrants and nobody would really give a shit. I would drink from the fire hydrants when I was thirsty. I mean, really. I used to play with crack bottles because they had little colorful tops. I didn't know any better. I was a kid. Let's see. Back in our days, there was just so many things that are different nowadays. I used to have to take a bus to the library because I lived in the city. That's how it was. I used to walk to school, and it was literally only a block away, but still. I would have to take a bus to school, but we didn't take cheese buses. I lived in the city, so we had state-issued bus passes that were given to students who took the bus, but you had to be approved and show that you had to take a bus. So, again, I'm an 80s baby. I know my 80s shit, okay? I remember Popples. I remember Kid Sister. My Little Buddy. I remember My Pet Monster, G.I. Joe, and My Little Pony. Hell, I even know the Sea Pony song. What do you bronies know about that shit? Shooby-doo, shoop-shoopy-doo, call upon the sea pony when you're in distress. Helpful as can be, pony, simply signal SOS. Y'all don't know about that. I do. I remember Rainbow Bright. I remember the Hug-a-Bunch. So boo-boo, do not play with me when I know my G.I. Joes and my Transformers. I'm an 80s baby. I know my 80s. Rant over. Next step, we're going to go into our Anastasia Beverly Hills Glow Kit because we're trying to really be colorful with this. So I'm going to go into the color Snow, which is a really white but iridescent color. And we're just going to load up this fucking brush and just go crazy. Right on top of the glitter too, because you know what? This is supposed to be intense 80s. And this is the type of look that's going to have Madonna wishing that she was still a virgin. Hell, back in my days, we didn't have YouTube parodies. We had Weird Al Yankovic. And he will forever be the king of music parodies. I remember Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. Ernest Goes to Camp, which was one of my favorite Ernest movies. Now that's going old school. Thundercats. Thunderhawks. Silverhawks, GoBots, the Bionic Six. I mean, how much more 80s can you possibly expect me to be? So, we're gonna keep going. Benefit Roller Lash, because, of course, it's all about intensity, so we want to really make these lashes pop. And I'm gonna finish these up. And we should be done after lips. Okay, so now that we've got the lashes on, we're going to finish off with the lips. I'm using the It's Happening Melted Matte by Too Faced. And let's get started. And this is the final product. This side of my face looks so much better than the other side. So I just wanted you guys to see from this side. This is the Totally Radical look inspired by Steven Persons. And might as well throw in the crazy curly hair while you're at it, because of course the 80s was known for its crazy curly hair. So this is the final look. I hope you guys enjoyed this very meticulous tutorial. And I'm sorry I kind of went on an 80s baby rant, but as an 80s baby we tend to do that. So thank you guys. Please like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Everything is down below. If you want to book me for any wrestling events, birthday parties, or otherwise, I am available for bookings, and all my information is going to be down below. My email, my Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So I'm just one email inbox direct message away from entertaining you and the masses. So I am the Ring Queen Lexa Rose, and this has been a totally radical episode of Wrestling with Beauty. Again, this is the totally radical look, and I hope to see you guys on my next video. Bye.